let's move now to Josh Giddey, who went number 6 in this class. Josh Giddey, in the middle of a fascinating run recently that I think like rightfully maybe has changed some people's perspective of him. Like he's been really, really, really good basically since Christmas. Like if you look at the numbers over his last 7 games, he's averaging 18, 7, and 5 while shooting 52, 45 and has made like all of the few free throws that he takes. I kind of wonder, like, I mean, if he's really shooting the ball, things totally change for him. Like, though, with how intelligent he is, I think he's one of the 5 or 6 smartest players in the NBA, just straight up. The way he sees the court is unlike anything, not unlike anything, but like it is rare to see a player that is 20 years old who sees the court, who sees angles, who picks up on just the little observant things that Josh Giddey seems to see on the court. If he shoots it, he has real all-star upside is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot here to be excited about if I was an Oklahoma City Thunder fan.
He's been really aggressive, Sam, and not just aggressive in terms of hunting his own shot, but like physical, really going into guys a little bit, using his size and his length to create.
He's strong, man.
He's really strong. He's really strong. And we're seeing how impactful it can be to have another really good handler next to a 30-point per game scorer and a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that the extra attention that's going to go on SGA means that now you have essentially 4-on-4 and a little bit more space to operate if you're a guy like Giddey. And he's learning how to take advantage of something like that, where I think coming into the league, and you hit on his high IQ and feel, definitely there. But it was much more a ball screen type of, okay, you put me in a high pick and roll and I can show you exactly how to make the right play 9 times out of 10. I think he's had to learn to adjust to being more of the secondary playmaker. And as a result, it's harder for him to know when to be aggressive, when to pick his spots, when to go and be a scorer. He's leaning into that scoring a little bit more over this recent run that he's been on. Yes, he's knocking down shots, but I think he's finally figured out how to coexist next to SGA in a way that completely changes things for the Thunder.
The other thing that, well, let's just talk about the passing. Unbelievable passer. Like the touch that he shows on passing. It's the passes are unbelievable. The angles. He sees angles and like creases and openings that I can't even imagine like seeing as being there. It's unbelievable watching him just think through the game at a high level while he's like live processing things while dribbling and like passing and on the move and everything.
Well, and he's tall enough to be able to make any type of pass over the top of the defense. I think that's what unlocks it for him, is that he can hit anybody that's a corner spot up shooter because he is tall enough to just whip it over the top of the defense with those hook passes.
And that's where I want to go next. Yeah. Having Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander potentially as your point guard and shooting guard moving forward for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then Jalen Williams also as your 3-man moving forward, it gives you so much length and athleticism out there defensively that even with Giddey's deficiencies to this point, I don't think he's been great defensively. I think he's gotten better in year 2, but it's more because he was just very not good last year. He just wasn't strong enough to hold up. Now he's strong enough to hold up. I really, really love the amount of length that they can put out on the court. They can go like 6'8", 6'6", with a 7-foot wingspan, 6'6" with a 7'2" wingspan. Chet Holmgren, maybe long-term, who's 7'1" with a 7'6" wingspan, is an elite rim protector, shot blocker, everything. And then find your 4-man, whoever you want. You could have Josh Giddey guard 4s maybe, and then play another point guard. Yeah. Like you could do so many different things that like, it's that versatility of skill set that having Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and to a lesser extent, Jalen Williams, gives Oklahoma City moving forward from a roster building perspective and a flexibility and lineup versatility perspective. This team is very dangerous long-term.
Yep.
Like, this is the team that I look at, especially with the Shea leap that's happened this year, and being as big of a fan as I am of Chet, also knowing that they're probably going to get another top 6 or 7 player this year, top 8 maybe in the draft. This is the team I look at that is doing it right in terms of rebuilding. They're doing kind of, I mentioned this on the Athletic NBA show with the Slam and Jam boys. Shout out Andrew Schlecht. Shout out Al Spears.
What up, Schlecht?
We love you guys. But I kind of mentioned this, like they're doing something very similar to what Toronto wanted to do with building, plus positional size, plus positional athleticism in the case of Toronto, plus positional length. Except with Oklahoma City, they're doing it as a combo of plus positional size with skill level, as opposed to Toronto doing it with like, we can teach shooting, we can teach skill level, everything like that. Oklahoma City is getting guys that process the game at a super high level that also have positional size and length that might not be quite as good defensively as the guys that Toronto takes early on in their careers. And thinking that they might be able to fix them defensively more so than fix the processing and skill level. I very much prefer the Oklahoma City model of the way that they're building as opposed to the Toronto model. I know that Toronto's had more success to this point, obviously, but I really, really buy what Oklahoma City is doing right now.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say on Giddey here, Sam, is the defensive end of the floor in that conversation is really thinking about the versatility of different guys and ways you can guard with the length that they have 1 through 3. If I'm going into a playoff series and I'm coaching the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm almost stealing from the playbook of what the Washington Wizards would do a few years ago, where they would have Kelly Oubre defend more at the point of attack and push John Wall to an off ball, even guarding up some 2s or 3s in the lineup just because he was strong enough to do so. I do the exact same thing here in Oklahoma City. I'd put Jalen Williams at the point of attack to navigate those screens on defense, use his length to contest from behind, and just try to dare somebody to put their 3 on Josh Giddey in the low post and say, you want to try to go and move this strong-bodied 6'8" dude? Go for it. Like I think that's what Oklahoma City should do. But we're a year or two away from that.